Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Daniel Project 92. This topic is different. It's about health and fitness kind of thing. So, if you're watching this, you're obviously frustrated in your health and your fitness, probably like most people are, including myself. So, I'm going to give a little bit of brief background of what I've gone through, and I will give some quick tips on how to change certain things. So, my story. Well, I was actually kind of a chubby kid back in high school. Sophomore year, I decided to try to make small changes. And these small changes consisted of, cutting the soda was like the first thing I did. And then, I just started just drinking more water. And then I just ran one street down. And then before you know it, I was running another street down. And then before you know it, another street down. Until eventually I ended up running a block and later ended up running 3 miles. So it was not much of changes. It was just a quick change. And that was how I improved. What was my end result of that small change? Well, as soon as I walked in to through my school gates, my friends were basically pointing out that I lost weight. And that was just, it felt so great to receive that feedback and acknowledgement of the small work I did was just cutting back the soda, drink a little bit more water, and just exercise for at least 15 minutes. That was it. So that was actually a great thing that I started doing and I noticed. And maybe you can try that too. Then I started to work on my eating habits and nutrition, and I did very well for a while. But then, obviously, we're human and we fail sometimes, and that's what happens to everybody, and it happened to me. I did very well, and then I failed. So, that's actually normal, but what matters is, are you going to continue to try and continue what you started? That's the main question that you should ask yourself. After I asked myself that, I realized I do want to continue, pursuing my goal and reaching my goal as efficient as possible. So it took me a while to kind of continue it and improve. And I was speaking of when I was 16 years old back then. Now I'm 21, I'm in college. So I decided to take another step, and that was to join a gym. Once I joined the gym, I ended up working with a trainer, which boosted things a lot into a higher level and more intensity and everything. And the results were awesome. I went from 21% body fat to 15% body fat. Now that may not sound much to you guys, but it is a kind of a big jump. It's like 10 pounds of just body fat being burned. And that was awesome. Now, was it expensive? Yeah, it was expensive to work with a trainer for just a couple months, but it was worth it. I mean, it did show a lot of improvement and I felt better. And, well, do you have to have a trainer and a gym? Well, no, you don't have to have a trainer or a gym. Basically, my point here is you have to make small changes and small goals for yourself to reach what you want to reach. I mean, if you start off with a really big goal and you try to go after it, you might get discouraged. So, what is my tip in how to reach those kinds of goals? You just have to make easily reachable goals. One of the things that you could do is just make a goal for yourself every week. After that week, you make a goal for next week. And after that week, you start boosting things up. And then before you know it, you've completed a series of goals and you've finished them in a month. And then later, you can start doing monthly goals. But the point is, make things that are realistic for you and that could be reached. That way you don't get discouraged. Do I like to eat a lot of food? Yes, I do. And let me tell you, I love junk food. It's heaven for me. I love chips. I love cakes. I love everything that you can possibly just munch on. But you have to do what everyone says. You have to limit yourself. And it's hard, but it's very possible. So that's another tip. Now, do I go on YouTube and look for nutrition advice and fitness advice? Honestly, I don't. Did I used to? Yes. Why don't I? Because every time I've tried to follow their advice, I'm either starving myself, I'm unhappy, and look at the reality. They're ripped, they're hot, they've been doing this for years, they're basically living to do this. That's what they do for a living. I'm an average person. I don't do that. I need something to help me slowly but surely and effective. So I stopped doing that because it just discouraged me. It was depressing. You end up comparing yourself to these people. Do you want to continue to do that? I sure don't. So what is my point basically is making small changes to reach reachable goals. Now, what I'm going to give you 5 points right now, and so you better take notes. So point number 1 is make a reachable goal each week. So for example, what are you going to come back from? Are you going to come back on some soda maybe for the first week? Are you going to come back from ice cream? What is it? It's up to you. You make the decision. You make the cut. You make the change. That small goal. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is what kind of exercise are you going to start off with? Obviously, you can't, or I can't, do a triathlon on the first week. That's not reachable for me. If it is for you, cool. But for me, no. Like I mentioned earlier, just running down that one street helped me get to basically now running 3 miles now. It may not be a lot for some people, but to me it was a big change. So what kind of exercise are you going to do, and how are you going to do it, and how long are you going to do it? That's up to you. And remember, it has to be a reachable goal that you can do and you can keep up with for the first week or maybe for future weeks. Point number 3, do you have a support system? Well, maybe you can find a friend that can help you. Do you have a coach? Do you have a trainer? Anything like that. Find your support system so they can motivate you. You can motivate them, or just whatever. In fact, you could even probably join a dance class or something that can help you continue and just keep going, and just so they can spark that motivation in you so you can continue to reach those goals. That's a good point number 3. Point number 4 is don't jump on the scale daily. Don't jump on the scale weekly. I was about to say don't jump on the scale monthly, but I would say you might want to keep track of your progress monthly, or every month and a half, maybe 2 months. The reason for that is because you do not want to get unmotivated. You don't want to get discouraged to see no change, because let's face it, you don't really see much of a change within 24 hours. Sometimes you won't really notice a big change within a week. So stay away from the scale as much as you can until you finish your first month, and then just keep your track or keep your progress every month. That way you can see something, and that way you can continue it, and it's not as depressing or stressful or frustrating for you. Point number 5, this is kind of hard, but try to stay away from searching videos or YouTube videos that show very, very professional gym rats and addicts and everything that have really great bodies, because you're going to end up comparing yourself to them, and you're just going to feel so behind from these people. But keep in mind, these people have been doing this for years. And they've been going at this for weeks, days, hours, months, and they are professionals at this, but it took them a long time to get there. And it may seem like they changed their bodies almost in a snap of a finger, but they didn't. So just keep yourself in mind and just keep track of your own progress. The more you stay away from those kinds of videos, the less you'll have that in mind, and before you know it, you're reaching your goals without you stressing so much about it. So those were my tips. That was a little bit of my background. Obviously, I didn't go into so much detail because I could go on for hours talking about what I've gone through, but I hope you guys liked this video, and I hope this was informative in some sort of way for you guys. Like I said, the channel the Daniel Project 92 is going to consist of different topics, and some of it's going to be about fitness, nutrition, health, or anything like that. But if you enjoyed this video, please comment and subscribe, and I will come up with more videos. And thank you for stopping by, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.